Looks like we are live. Welcome back to the stream. It is currently day 62 of Vibe Coding an App Until I Make $1 Million. This morning, we are going to be going over the ViewCreator product roadmap. As you guys know, we have our hackathon coming up here soon, and we are now expected to launch right after our hackathon to the mainstream. So we have a marketing budget. We're going to have our UGC campaigns in place. So that gives us, about 2 weeks to get our act together to make sure that we're ready for mainstream launch. But let me do a couple things on my end to actually get the stream started, and I'll touch on that more. But here at the start of the stream, we are going to be talking about, hey, what is our product roadmap going to look like? And I'm going to be talking a little bit about that this morning. Also, we are going to be using Droid in this stream. As you guys can see, I actually already have it pulled up here. We are going to be using Droid because Droid recently received an update, so I want to try that out and see, hey, can we potentially fix and put Droid in our workflow with those updates and see how that's performing? As currently, it still says that factory AI with this Droid is leading. So let me do a couple things here, and I'm going to send this in the Discord and make sure that we have everything up on our end. All right. All right, give me 1 second, guys, and we'll get started here. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm going to pull chat back up. All right, Jesse Pinkman, how's it going? Welcome. The Awaken, what's up? How's it going? Refresh Plays, how's it going? He said, I have tried everything and I keep coming back to Claude Code. Yeah, Claude Code's pretty good. Linux, how's it going? Good morning. Stipe, how's it going? Welcome. Jesse said, okay, let's see what Droid's up to. Yeah, welcome, Jesse. Yeah, we're going to try it out. Hunk said, good morning, Matt. Kind of fell in love with Factory CLI recently. Droid. Yeah, we're going to try Droid out because I have actually been getting quite a few questions about it. And I want to give it another shot to see essentially how it performs. I know that GPT-5, it actually already has GPT-5 Codex. So we're going to use GPT-5 Codex inside of Droid and see if that gives us essentially, a better result and see where we're at there. But guys, one thing that I also want to talk about, so we're going to be using Droids up here, and then we're also going to have our Claude Code terminals. Claude Code was working very well for me this morning because I've started using UltraThink. So I actually just started using UltraThink more, and I found that when you use UltraThink, it does help a lot when you're using Claude Code. But yeah, good morning, Hong. Thanks for the feedback. And then Jesse, thank you. Root Mike says that Droid is really good. So yeah, we're going to be trying it out today. I have a Trello board pulled up, but I'm going to let people shuffle in here. And then for those of you that are already on, I'm going to actually start talking a little bit about our product roadmap and some of the updates that I made yesterday and where we're at with ViewCreator. As you guys know, we've been working on it since day 20. So we've essentially had 42 days to work on ViewCreator now. And in 42 days, we were able to build everything that we've built already. We were able to build a working application and build all of these tools. And, now that we've done that, there's other steps that we're going to now have to start introducing. And, we had initially planned our mainstream launch about midway through October, but, we did that refactoring. And now, after, especially with the marketing campaigns, we're going to need to start marketing with UGC is the approach that we're going to take. So as you guys know, UGC is essentially where users will be able to enter campaigns, and based on those campaigns, they will then create like TikTok accounts and Instagram accounts or YouTube accounts associated with ViewCreator, and then they will post clips where they can then earn money based on the amount of views that you get. So yesterday off stream, a little update for everybody. So I'm actually going to launch and kind of show you guys where we're at, some of the updates that I made yesterday here, and then we're going to talk about that product roadmap because I think it's very important that this community understands where we're at and the plan that we have for marketing, the plan that we have for launch, and the plan that we have to actually start really driving some sales. So let's launch this. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what I accomplished yesterday off stream. So let me just go to ViewCreator Creator UI. And essentially what I did is, because of this marketing strategy with the UGC campaigns, what we're doing is we're going to have these reward campaigns. And yesterday off stream, I actually started simplifying this process a little bit. So if I go over to Earn and go to campaigns, we now only have one type of campaign. So there's a little bit of difference here, and we're gonna touch on that Hugh, what's up? How's it going? Gaming Joy said, great job coming this far, dude. I watch every night from where I'm from and enjoy a lot. Thank you, Gaming Joy. And thanks for joining in chat. It's good to see you. Yeah, also, if you guys didn't notice, Big T is in the background here. This is Big T. Everybody say what's up to Big T. He's a German Shepherd. Watching him for 2 days. But he's going to be featured here. He's a good boy. All right. Everybody say what's up to Big T. Sam Stone, how's it going? Thank you, Linux. Yeah, the dog. I think he's made an appearance once before. Once before. So let me go here, and essentially what I need to do is I need to go to PG Admin. I need to figure out, hey, where's our sponsor account? So, like, for example, I'll be able to sign up in ViewCreator as a sponsor, and we're going to sign up, like, the first sponsors on ViewCreator are going to be ViewCreator and BridgeMind. So BridgeMind, like, to talk a little bit about the product roadmap, BridgeMind.ai is going to be launching here this weekend, actually. So we talked a little bit about the Halloween stream. So I am going to be working through the weekend. I'm not doing anything. I don't have any plans besides working. And I'm probably not going to dress up as Spider-Man, unfortunately. The more I thought about it, I don't think that that's very professional. I feel like that would kind of put me in the streamer bracket a little bit too much. And as you guys know, really the goal here is to build a successful company. And the more I thought about it, I was like, dressing up as Spider-Man isn't that professional. Like, if I end up needing investment down the road, dressing up as Spider-Man probably isn't going to help that. So I'm probably not going to do that. But I am going to be working through Halloween. I think that it would be cool to kind of have a stream where I'm working through Halloween, just because it is something where, I've always, found it cool where, if you can work when other people are, distracted with debauchery, I think that that is kind of cool. And a lot of the people that I do know are just going to be out at the bars, drinking, getting hammered, and I think it's pretty cool to be able to be focused and working through that. So let's launch the sponsor UI real quick, because I kind of want to show this to you guys. Essentially, this new campaign setup, and I actually did not get a chance to really test it last night before I went to bed, but I did finish on all my tasks. So let's review that. But back to this product roadmap. So the plan is that, as you guys know, we have this hackathon. So the hackathon here is going to start November 3rd. And what I need to do is this weekend, I need to polish things up so that for our hackathon, essentially all the features and the tools should be practically ready for the mainstream launch, right? And then the hackathon is going to open up as a big promotion to bring the community together behind the project, as well as to be the final step before we actually launch to the mainstream. So I don't want to launch to the mainstream with a bunch of bugs, and I also do not want to launch to the mainstream with free accounts. So probably what I'm going to end up doing is we're going to do this mainstream launch right after our, let's see here, like, let me just pull up the calendar here. Okay, so the November, so let's just break this down. Okay, so here's the calendar, right? So the hackathon is going to be from Monday the 3rd, and it's going to end on Monday the 10th, right? And the mainstream launch is going to be right after this. So we're going to actually start putting some money behind ViewCreator on the 11th of November. So November 11th, we are going to do that. J35, welcome back to the stream. Linux, thank you. All right, yeah, let me pin the Discord real quick as well, just since we're getting started. Or can one of the moderators, can you guys drop a Discord link, and then I'll pin it. Harshu, what's up? Thank you. Yeah, no, it's good to see you, Harshu. Jesse said, we know that this journey is a long road, but don't forget to have a little fun once in a while. Yeah, 100%. Fun for me, though, is like a lot different than, I don't like to drink. I don't like to do things that are going to like kind of cloud my mind, cloud my judgment. That's just me, though. So right here, this is the target date, like as a product roadmap. We're going to have the hackathon. So we have essentially, what is it? It's, so we have today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days to essentially polish up features and get this fully functional. And then on Monday, that's where our hackathon is going to start. And the hackathon is going to last a week. It's going to give us another week to patch any bugs, patch any issues. And then right after the hackathon, we're going to launch to the mainstream. We're really going to start pushing marketing on November 11th. So that means that for those of you that are interested in enrolling the UGC campaigns to make money, and if you guys want to help, we're going to need a lot of help from the community, going forward. So, all right, thank you, Linux. All right, I just pinned that message. So something also, I have a Trello board, and this was J35's idea. But if you guys would like me to review a tool on stream, or if any of you that are watching would like me to review a project that you're working on, I'd like for you guys to send it in the chat and comment in the chat, and then I'm going to put it in the Trello board for a tool or something or a project to review. And that was J35's idea. So let me know if you guys have something. Fizz Daniels, how's it going? Welcome. So here we are. So if I go to my sponsor account now and I go to create campaign, essentially there's no longer, like, we're going to take this out, right? So there's no longer going to be multiple campaigns here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add the, so entities. So I'm going to add the campaign entity. So the campaign.ts file here. So in entities, and I'm just going to say there is no longer the option between UGC and rewards. The campaigns are all rewards. These at ViewCreator sponsor UI /src /pages /campaigns /create. Okay, Droid is spazzing out here a little bit. There we go. The Droid UI is like a little bit laggy. I don't know if you guys experienced that. Yo, how's it going, Overkill? Okay, there we go. So I can do that, as well as its logic. Make sure that the API is updated based on this refactoring. And then I'm also going to add the, what was it? There's a campaign refactoring. There's a campaign refactoring plan here. So I can do this. So this is Droid GPT-5 Codex, and we're trying that. A lot of people in the comments say that they like that. Hugh said, how's the video highlight generator yesterday? The video highlight generator definitely still needs some work. You know, we were patching some bugs there. It's still doing the, it's still in 16.9. So we're going to keep working on that. Yeah, J35, thank you. So let's have Droid take a look at that. And then let's also go over to the settings. So this is going to need some help here. And I'm going to just drop this in settings. All right. Why did this fail in the ViewCreator sponsor UI? So guys, we're going to have a super action-packed November. I think that November is going to be critical for this community. I think that, you know, we've been slowly building our community for the past several months. You know, we're coming up this weekend. It'll be 3 months since I started streaming at all, which is a pretty cool milestone. Hunk said, by the way, have you used Conductor IDE? Looks very nice, similar to Cursor Agent View, but tailored for Claude Code. I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so this is great. So Hung just asked, have you used Conductor IDE? So something that we're going to be doing today is we're going to be, and this was J35's idea, so shout out to J35, because I will say that he is a very resourceful person. And as you guys know, I've been trying to open myself up a little bit more to the community. I know that I'm talking to Linux later on today. Had a talk with Doom the other day, going to be talking with Doom again. But I'm trying to get more involved in the community myself. And that can be as simple as, you know, just having conversations with you guys in PMs or voice calls. I want to be involved in this community. I don't want to be somebody that's, you know, not connected with the community. So J35, I really appreciate your feedback and the conversation we had this morning, because I think that you just had some really good ideas. So big shout out to J35. So Conductor IDE, we're going to check that out in today's stream while we're working. And then also, let me know if you guys have anything else that you want me to try out today. So also any projects or anything that you guys are working on that you'd like me to take a look at, you know, I'm happy to do that as well. So Bobby Yo Dev said, does this guy have any background in coding? I don't know, this all depresses me, just no joy in problem solving anymore. Yeah, I mean, so I am reading chat, but yeah, so I've been programming for 3 years. I started coding in Python as a teenager, but got really into it. I learned on Codecademy is where I initially started learning. I taught myself, and I slowly got better. But really the point that I took, that I saw a couple years ago, was this logic that, the AI tools are getting better. So if you are new to development, it's actually probably better for you to start figuring out how to integrate AI into your workflow more than ever before, just because, hey, you don't necessarily, need to write line by line anymore. So, Babio, it's like, hey, I understand what you're saying and it makes sense. And I hear that a lot, especially running the channel. I hear stuff like that a lot. But I would say that it's not necessarily, the problem solving just looks different than it did a while ago. You're managing AI tools to be able to do the problem solving for you. So Constructor IDE, I've actually never even heard of that. Let's look it up because we're gonna touch on this later. Constructor IDE. I actually can't. Conductor IDE. Yeah, I've never even heard it before. Conductor IDE. So we're gonna review this. Stop experimenting with AI. Start succeeding with Conductor AI. All right, Conductor IDE. So I'm gonna drop a link here in the description just so we can access that later on. There we go. All right, cool. So we're gonna try that later on. Thank you. Shout out to Hung. Appreciate it. So this looks like this is now updated. Droid was able to patch that pretty quickly. J35 said, Hung, that's the plan, actually. Let's try all these tools on live. Yeah, so we're going to try Conductor live. So that's on the Trello board. If you guys want me to try anything else, please let me know. So we're going to work for a bit. We're going to talk a little bit about, the roadmap and essentially what things are going to look like. We're going to polish some of the code that I was working on last night so we get to a good stopping point. And then I'm going to take about an hour on the stream to try out some of these new tools. So hang around, guys. Hung said better to check out that tools that either from the community or useful to your workflow right now, or else chat will be flooded with affiliated shills. Yeah. Matthew Shang said he just researched a bit more about Conductor IDE. Super cool. Yeah, we'll check it out. All right, so let's drop this in another one and say, review the dashboard of the sponsor UI. Right now, it doesn't actually have any connections, and none of these routes actually work. It's just UI hard-coded. Review this in depth and help me figure out a way to just make this simple. All I want to do on the dashboard page is to just render in the sponsor's current campaigns. It doesn't need to be a super comprehensive dashboards with stats and analytics. This is just for the MVP. So simplify it. Don't build any more functionality. Just look at existing routes and update the dashboard so it just uses the existing routes. All right, so we're just gonna make it very, very simple there. For that. So launch another droid. Okay, so let's see the settings now. It's not giving that error anymore. We have the free plan. Oh, wow. Hung said it's actually the one below that. So it's not this one. Apparently, it's this one, conductor.build. So, wait, is it this one? Conductor.build? Okay. So it's actually this one. So it's conductor.build. So run a bunch of Claude codes in parallel. Each Claude gets an isolated workspace. See who's working, see who's stuck, and what's changed. Okay, interesting. So we're going to try this. So, yeah, that's actually bad. Yeah, so Hung just made the point that the one that I was looking at actually was not the right one. They're not ranked number 1. All right, so let's go here. Let's go to billing. Does this work? All right, cool. All right, and let's just make sure that going back works. All right. What even is the error that it's the auth service? All right. Let's go here. Update the dashboard page. Why do I keep getting this error in the sponsor UI? Okay. So I have 3 droids working. If you guys are just tuning in, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. So we have Conductor IDE. Guys, if you guys want me to try any more tools on the stream, please let me know. All right, so these are now, this is a little bit different. So the type, it doesn't really need to show the type anymore. All right, So I'm going to do ultra think here, and then I'm going to add the refactoring. So I did a campaign refactoring yesterday because essentially we're just going to start with only one type of UGC campaigns. It's only going to be rewards campaigns. Mohammed, welcome back to the stream. So if you guys understand, UGC is where, instead of a brand like myself going out and posting shorts and trying to stir up a bunch of marketing, instead it's where you're able to pay content creators to create their own content, and then you pay them for getting views on their own channels. And then there's like certain requirements and stuff associated with like what the requirements are to actually get paid. Like for example, having the link in the description, and there'll be a couple things like that. But okay, so refactoring. Update this page as the type is no longer needed. Review the refactoring plan and note that there is no longer UGC versus rewards. It's all the same type. It's all rewards. So think in depth and then fix this. Okay. So for example, if I go to PG admin, it should be set up so that we only have let's just take a look at our tables here. So here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. So if I go here, we have campaigns. So I literally just have campaigns now. So campaigns, campaign submissions, campaign enrollments. So campaigns, this is what this looks like. So now on campaigns, you have the sponsor ID, foreign key, you have a title, a description, you have a status, you have the reference URLs, you have the enrollment cap, the platforms, the brand profile, and then you have the rewards table. And that's all in the campaign entity now. So it's only going to be reward campaigns. Okay. Keep getting this error here on this page. I continue to get this error on the billing page in the ViewCreator sponsor UI. Why is this happening? And then I'm just going to add the ViewCreator sponsor UI. All right, perfect. Sonics, yeah, that's Big T. Thanks, J35. All right. I think Big T is just hanging out back there. Okay. Is anybody in chat using Droid a lot? Yeah, the Discord is filled with a lot of builders. Yeah, so Jose just asked a really great question. So we are going to launch in Product Hunt, and actually I want to show you guys a list, and I think this is going to also help answer a lot of questions too, just about essentially our roadmap and where we're at. So let me pull this up. This is from Aperium. Aperium a while ago actually shared with me a super, super helpful link. It's a Reddit post. Let me find it real quick. Where is it? Let me Control F and do a Reddit here. Okay. So yeah, so check this out, guys. So this is something that's going to be really important. So on November 11th, this is when we're going to be posting the product on Product Hunt. It's when we're going to post our product on Hacker News, Angel List, Crunchbase, Beta List, Indie Hackers, Startup Stash. We're going to be posting ViewCreator on all these platforms to drive organic traffic. In this Reddit post here, I'll actually drop it in the comments in chat so you guys can have a list of this as well. But you guys can check out the link that I just dropped into chat. And what's really helpful is that you get the domain authority, obviously, from building up your backlink. So whenever you're launching your own product, it's very important that you have, let me just zoom this in a little bit as well so you guys can see it better. But, it's very, very important that you get the domain authority with backlinks. So Product Hunt has a 91 domain authority, Hacker News 93, and then the actual organic traffic. So 5 million in monthly traffic, 10 million in monthly traffic. It's going to be critical. So Sam Stone said, is Droid that much better than just using Codex? Droid, it's going pretty fast for me right now. We're just kind of trying it out because it did recently get an update. So we'll have to see. I'll kind of let you know if I'm noticing anything different, Sam. Let's see here. Jose, yeah, so thank you, Jose, for asking that question. Jose says he's going to start doing influencer marketing soon. All right, which one was working on this? Because I think it was this one right here is working on this page because this looks pretty good now. But we're now going to have to update this page as well because of this refactor. So I'm just going to do an ultra think here. In ultra think, if you guys are not already using ultra think inside of Claude Code, I would highly suggest it because I started using ultra think pretty much every time. And on the max plan, it makes more sense to use ultra think. But I'm just going to then drop in this campaign refactor. The campaign refactoring plan. We recently refactored the structure of campaigns, so now I need you to update the campaign ID page in the ViewCreator UI repository to properly render in the new format of campaign. All right, so we're gonna do that, and that's Ultra Think, and Ultra Think does really, really well. Mo the Agent said, thank you for Droid, just tested it with my complex digital project. It's the only assistant I've seen that can have a full picture of your project. Yeah, so we have 3 droids running right now, so we're gonna see here. Okay. Okay, we'll see. That's gonna need, so the get campaign mode label is no longer a function, yeah. Fizz Daniel said, just returned from how I vibe coded my AWS infrastructure. Thank you. Video bookmark. Yeah, no problem, Fizz. Yeah, and I'm going to be putting out a lot more content on videos like that show how I've accomplished like specific things, like very specific tasks. And I think that that's going to help you guys a lot to be able to see essentially how I'm actually doing things. But this is looking pretty good here. No brand profile on that one. I do have a brand profile. Why is it not getting brand profiles here? That's interesting. All right, let's do a refresh. All right, so let's drop this in. So we're gonna try Droid here on this one. So I'm gonna drop this in, and I'm gonna say, review this page in the, and then I'm just gonna add the ViewCreator sponsor UI. And this did just get updated. The one thing is that you can't, like, it does, I'm not dropping in like entire pages, if that makes sense. Oh, I need to go SRC. And it's a little bit like buggy, like it's a little bit, which is fine, but a little bit annoying. Like brand profiles, just this page is like a little bit funky. There we go. Fix the error that I'm getting on this page. Mo the Agent said, thank you to whoever suggested Droid, dang. Sam Stone said, really nice Reddit thread, thanks for sharing. Yeah, Sam, happy to help. Yeah, and that was actually, shout out to Aperium. I don't think he's here, but yeah, he actually gave me that a while ago. So shout out to Aperium, that's super helpful. So we're gonna use that, November 11th. So that is our official mainstream launch date, because after the hackathon, after we've patched all these bugs, that's gonna be, we'll be able to then ship and put some money behind that. And as you guys know, I think like 15 of you guys responded very positively to that. You guys are going to be down to enroll in the UGC campaigns and be the first testers there. So really excited for that. Mo asked him to describe what your project does. Mustafa said, hi, bro. I have a question. How do you plan your bug or edit or update? What do you mean? There's a couple questions there. You may have to ask, like, what's like your main question? Tighten over here. Tighten over here. Come here. Tighten. Over here. Big T's wandering around here. He loves the butt scratches. That's his favorite. Good boy. Get your bone, Titan. Get your bone. He's like a little bit of a lazy dog. That's all right, though. Oh, he's getting one of his toys back there. I don't know if you guys can see that. All right. All right, let's see if this refreshes. I think we actually have a refresh. All right, so that's working there. All right, okay, so let's go over here. This looks good now. So if I go to campaign, that's good. Submit proof. All right, so then you go to submit proof. This is now failing though because of our update. Wait, which one do we drop that in? It was this one. It was this one here, wasn't it? Now this page needs updating accordingly. All right. Okay. Chat, do you guys have any other projects that you'd like me to take a look at? So we're going to be testing out Conductor IDE. So in 30 minutes at 1 p.m., so I guess in 27 minutes, we're going to be trying out Conductor IDE. So I want to knock out a little bit of work before we start reviewing any other projects, or products. But we're going to try out Conductor IDE today, and let me know if you guys want to see me test out any other products live. All right. So it looks like these are all working. Let's just double check here on the sponsor UI, the brand profile. So this was one that I gave Droid, and it looks like that did not get it. So it literally just changed the API endpoint, but that's not the API endpoint either. Because that's actually, that is a 404, right? So let's debug this. So refresh. And what's going on here? Oh, I think this, one of them must have messed up the, hold on, guys, hold up. Hold on, let's pull up Cursor real quick. Because I think that we had Droid. So which one were we having doing this? I think it was a Droid. And it messed up this one here. After your updates, wait, hold up. After your updates, now none of the routes are working correctly. Why did this happen? What did you change that did this? All right, so let's hold on. Let's hold off here for a second because that I think a Droid just kind of messed up a little bit of our stuff. Also, just again, just an announcement. The hackathon, guys. There are now 37 people in the hackathon. If you guys have not joined the hackathon, that's going to be critical for this community because, as you guys know, we're launching mainstream launch, UGC, paid ads. We're going to do a mix of it on November 11th. So right after our hackathon, we're going to be launching that. So very, very critical time for us. All right, let's go over here. And now let's refresh this page and see if I'm still getting that same issue. Looks like I have a refresh issue on my hands. So let's pull up the terminal. And let's just run npm run dev to refresh this. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, there is a link to the Discord in the chat. Make sure you do that. Let's go here. Let's go here. And I'm just going to say, I need you to kill the task running on port 3003. All right, let's do that. Oh, sorry, guys. Chat has been lagging out on my end. J35 said, can you also try GitHub Spec Kit later? Yes, absolutely. Thank you, J35. All right, so J35 is asking for GitHub Spec Kit. So GitHub Spec Kit. So we're going to try Conductor IDE and GitHub Spec Kit. We're going to try those two things. So as you guys know, this is the link to GitHub Spec Kit. So we're going to try that out. Thank you, J35. So we're going to try that on stream today. Let's drop that in. And we're going to try out in 24 minutes. We're going to try out some of these tools. So Tendy Time said using Droid now. When did you make the change? I haven't made the change. Actually, Droid just kind of messed up my project a little bit because it Yeah, you know, it literally, I think, wait, hold on here. The JWT is being, wait, hold on. The JWT is now being rejected completely in the ViewCreator. I mean, we should just be able to use the same exact base service file. So what's happening here, let's actually launch Cursor real quick. Here, let's go here, and then let's just launch Cursor. All right, and what we want to do is we're going to open Cursor, and we're going to use Cursor, and essentially what's happening here, I think, is the base service file is messed up, and Droid actually messed up our base service file. It was Droid. Droid must have done something that just was a little bit off. So if we go to services, how I like to structure this is I have a base service file that is in my services. So base service, and then the base service is essentially like if you have a microservices infrastructure, like BrightChoice had a microservices infrastructure, right? So we had a bunch of different services, and we had like all sorts of different services, but the base service, the main API, is just in that base service, which is very nice. So I feel like it's just this here. Yeah, so I mean, that is different. The base service files were different. Looks like we have some issues there. But yeah, I mean, these should be the same. So let's open this. And then I'm just going to drop in the base service and then the entire services directory. And then I'm also going to go over to the Creator UI. And I'm going to grab, let's see here, Playwright MCP. Rob said Playwright MCP. Yusuf asked how many lines is the whole project if you add it together. Not sure, but definitely a lot. I don't know if we could probably run like a Python script to find out. Yeah, let's do that. Let's figure out on stream. Let's figure out how many lines is the entire ViewCreator project. We're gonna answer that question. So hang around, Tendy time. Or wait, no, who asked that question? I think Yusuf. Yeah, Yusuf asked that question. So shout out to Yusuf. We're going to figure out how many lines is the entire ViewCreator project. So this base service file, we're going to need to fix that. And I just want to say, I want to drop this in essentially. I want to say the base service file in the ViewCreator Creator UI and the ViewCreator Sponsor UI need to be the same. But I just pasted in to the base service file in the sponsor UI, and now there are some issues. Make sure that you update the, I'm just going to drop the at ViewCreator project to have the same approach that the, and I'm just going to drop in the, and also we're using, this is Cursor 2.0, guys, that we're using right now. We enrolled in beta access as a ViewCreator UI and update accordingly. All right, and we're going to use Cursor for this, and I'm just going to use GPT-5 High Fast. I feel like that's probably the best model to use for this. Can you try Minimax M2 model? Minimax M2 model? Let's check it out. Minimax M2 model. Ritu asked, can you try that Minimax M2 model? Minimax M2 redefines efficiency for agents. It is a compact, fast, and cost-effective MOE model. Can I run this on... Yeah, we can try this. Okay. Minimax M2. Okay. All right, and guys, I'm thinking, and this was actually J35's idea, but what essentially we can do is, what we'll do is we'll essentially, I'm gonna create videos out of trying these products. So Minimax, try the Minimax M2 model, try Minimax M2 model. So you guys, you know, this was J35's idea. And essentially, we're just going to be trying to involve the community a little bit more. And I'm going to be, you know, taking what you guys want me to try out, trying it out, and then splicing it into YouTube videos. So really appreciate the suggestions. Thank you, Ritu. Congrats, Yusuf. Rob asked about the Playwright MCP. Playwright MCP. All right, so we'll add that. We don't want the list to get too long, but we'll get started in about 19 minutes. So if you guys have any more, let me know. Jesse said, think that's common because they didn't understand the full context of the project directory and code base. Yeah, I mean, like usually the thing is though, is if I use like GPT-5 High Codex, right, or whatever it's called, you know, it'll be able to, you know, understand the full context before it makes updates. You know, it'll actually go and get those files. So it is a little bit odd that, you know, using Droid, I did notice that it didn't do that. And then obviously here it said updated brand profile service to called API sponsor profiles, brand profiles, which that's not correct either, because that's a 404. So I just don't know where it even got that, right? And these are things where I noticed them because I know, I'm like, okay, well, first of all, that would have worked if I had that in like Claude Code, or I was doing it in Cursor, or if I was doing it in you know, in Codex. So just a little, like something that I notice is just, you know, when I use my typical workflow and I use it with a tool like Droid and I notice, okay, it didn't do that correctly, you know, I do pick up on those things because, you know, that's why it's important to be using AI every day and to be pushing the limits, is because you'll kind of know the workflows, right? You'll kind of get adjusted to it and you'll kind of know, okay, like this is how this should operate. Let's refresh this real quick. It looks like did we kill this? Yeah, we did. Okay, so now we'll be able to run this real quick and test, hey, does this look right? Is this submitting? Can I submit tickets once I join these campaigns? Select platform, content URL, view count, additional notes. Okay, so let's just do TikTok, content URL. We can just drop in like hackathon here. Drop that in. View count, we'll just do 1,000, and we'll do upload a screenshot, this design, and then just a bunch of gibberish here. Submit. Is this going to work? Looks like it's submitted. Campaign submission created. So now I can go back to my campaigns, and here are my submissions. So this looks great, working great. Corfalot, how's it going? Hello. Jesse said, is there a lag between the chat and live? Yeah, there's like probably like a 10-second, 30-second lag. Yeah, a little bit of a lag. All right, so this is working pretty great. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked this stream, I see we only have 8 likes. We have 50 people watching, so make sure that you guys, you know, like the stream. Helps a lot. So sponsor UI is still having these issues. Cursor, let's check on Cursor, make sure Cursor is doing that. Yeah, slight delay. All right, so we're gonna try all these tools in about 16 minutes. We're gonna try all of them on the Trello board here. So Conductor IDE, GitHub Spec Kit. How many lines is in the entire ViewCreator project? Try the Minimax M2 model, and then the Playwright MCP. We're just gonna be, you know, reviewing it. I'll maybe show you guys how to set it up and how I have mine configured, and then I'll go over how to use it and stuff. All right, let's see here. All right, Hung said, can you also try Graphite AI, a code review tool, and Tweak CN, a Shad CN custom tool? Yep, I'll add that to the list. All right, Graphite AI and Tweak CN. All right, Tweak CN. All right, we'll try those out. All right. All right, so that's now working. Why am I getting these errors on this page in the... I like how you can drop in entire repositories here. And then Claude Code just always kills it, crushes it every time. All right. All right, campaign wizard. Robodex said, any suggestions? I'm going to make a Snapchat using vibe coding, but I would like a name. Anybody got any names? Also, good to see you again, Robodex. I saw that you joined the hackathon. right, is this working now? All right, internal service error. What's a hackathon? So if you go to, there's a link in the description down below, but if you go to BridgeMind and there's a hackathon, you can learn about the information more here. BridgeMind.ai/hackathon. All right, there is something wrong, unable to load the campaigns, no auth token. But if we go here, okay. Hold on here, let's see. All right, so as you guys know, if you go to... All right, so here's the issue that we have. No auth token here. All right, so what's up with that? Let's go back. Thanks, J35. All right, so there, fixed it. So look at the UI that Droid made. All right, so this is literally the UI that Droid made, guys. I don't know how I feel about this. You guys see this? Significantly, or let's try it with a different model. Let's try a different model inside of Droid. Okay, so let's launch Droid again, right? And the models that you can choose in Droid, so you have GPT-5 Codex, Claude 4.5, GPT-5, Opus 4.1, Haiku 4.5, and then Droid, like GLM 4.6. Droid Core is what it's called. So let's try GLM 4.6, and it says the new model doesn't support images. Any attached images will not be processed. Okay, so this model does not take any images. Significantly improve the styling of this. Make the cards better for the campaigns. Just try that. Make the cards better for the campaigns here. Like, for example, this literally just... So here, if I go here, right, the nice little table view, right? But this is the UI that Droid made. And, guys, like, the tooling is a factor, for Droid. It is a factor. Tooling is a factor. That's why sometimes Cursor, I find, is just their tooling that Cursor has is very good. But let's see what this Droid does. See how it performs with GLM 4.6. Very cheap model, but we'll see how it does. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We are going to be going over several different things. We're going to be trying out Conductor IDE. We're going to be using GitHub Spec Kit. We're going to be figuring out how many lines are in the entire ViewCreator project, trying the Minimax M2 model, the Playwright MCP, the Graphite AI, and Tweak CN. Hopefully we can get through all that. But in 10 minutes here, we're gonna start going through that list. Yeah, it is kind of more like a bug bounty. Zuhaib, how's it going? Alright, so it's finished, and I mean, what did it even do? I guess it... Hold on, this isn't refreshed yet. Let's see. Alright, let's do a refresh here. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not super impressed with... I mean, it even update it? I didn't even see it update anything. What page did you update? What file? Jesse, I'm not sure. Just depends. But maybe like 2 or 3 hours. I was talking to J35 and, okay, here, wait. Oh, the campaign's index? I updated the campaign's index located there. So one thing about Droid is it updated this page. You know, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of Droid, guys. Because watch this. If I go over and let's give it the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's go over to Claude. And I'm just going to drop this in. I'm going to drop in Ultra Think. Update and improve the styling of this page. I mean, this is a good test, right? Because it's like, hey, I mean, we had Droid test this, and Droid wasn't even able to find the file that we were talking about. Zuhaib, so you must have missed that part of the stream, but we're going for our mainstream launch for ViewCreator on November 11th. So this week we're polishing up some features. Then we have our Bug Bounty Hackathon. So if you guys didn't know about the hackathon, it is starting on November 3rd, and there are $500 in prizes. You can learn more at bridgemind.ai/hackathon. All right. So it goes in. I can already see that it just thinks more, right? And it does a yeah, J35. And she said stop using the GLM model for prod use case. I mean, a lot of people have to use that model, you know, and a lot of people say that model is good. I mean, it does decent on arenas. Just interesting to see it not perform well. The brand profiles. So even like with Droid, you know, it literally changed the API route that this was going to, right? And that's just interesting. I'm not super impressed. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong with Droid. Let's go here. Let's relaunch it. Try again. Let's try with a different model. Let's try with Sonnet 4.5 inside of Droid. We can do medium reasoning. All right, 7 minutes, guys. We're going to be trying out these tools. To use the correct one. All right. Mohammed asked for auth, what do you use? I use Passport. NS, how's it going? Yeah, Big T was on the stream, man. He's in the other room now, just hanging out on the couch, but... All right, so that's a 404. But let's see what it does here. So like a hover effect. Okay. Sponsors should be able to see the campaign submissions as well. They should be able to see that. I use Passport, Mohammed. JWT's Nest on the back end. All right. Yeah, Juhaib, that's usually how it works, man. We're way ahead of where I've been in other startups. Use GLM with Kilo Code. All right, I'll add that to the Trello board. We'll try to get through as many as we can. All right, use GLM with Kilo Code. All right. Hung doesn't like Kilo Code. All right, 4 minutes, and then we're going to start trying this stuff. All right, so if you guys are just tuning in, we are going to be trying Conductor IDE, GitHub Spec Kit. We're going to be figuring out how many lines are in the entire ViewCreator project, trying the Minimax M2 model, the Playwright MCP, Graphite AI, Tweak CN, and then if we can get to it, using GLM with Kilo Code. Okay. Alright, so that fixed that. Alright, so this now, it was able to fix its issue. All right, then I can go to this page, easy, nice. So I can update my brand profile very easily. Go to campaigns. Have I tried GLM with Claude Code? I have not, Frosty. Do you guys want to try that? Try GLM with Claude Code. A lot of people like GLM, sounds like. Just because it's, you know, an affordable model, I guess. All right. What do you, chat, what do you guys feel like? Those of you that use GLM, what draws you guys to use it? Is it just the price? All right. Fix this error that I got on the dashboard page. Frosty said it's affordable. I don't get as good of results. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like the how GLM is. All right, 2 minutes, guys, and we're gonna start with Conductor IDE, and we're gonna actually use it like for all this stuff. We're gonna apply it to ViewCreator, right? Like we're gonna immediately see like, hey, how does this function here? All right, view profile. This is pretty good. The styling in the All right, guys. So I just did a prompt there, but let's get started. I want to try out Conductor IDE. So let's get over to Conductor IDE. So Conductor IDE, so it says run a bunch of Claude codes in parallel. So each Claude gets an isolated workspace. See who's working, see who's stuck, and what changed. Let's learn how it works. Here are the docs. We're not going to go through all this, but let's just kind of, before we try this out, let's actually kind of learn a little bit about what this is. So Conductor is a Mac app that lets you run a bunch of Claude codes at once. Each Claude gets an isolated copy of your code base, see at a glance what they're working on, then review and merge their changes all in one place. So let's just download it real quick. All right, so Conductor. All right, and this is a Mac-only app. Having a little trouble downloading here. Having some performance issues. Hold on, let's X out of that. This button gonna work better. Alright, there we go. Alright. So Conductor. Alright, so you sign in with GitHub. So you authenticate with GitHub, then you can launch Conductor. All right. All right, Pro Max subscription detected. So set up your environment. So you log into GitHub CLI, and then you log into Claude Code. Add a local repo or clone a remote repo. We're going to use a local repo. And we're just going to go to ViewCreator here. Failed to add products. Can't add a directory where Git is not initialized. Okay. So let's then do a subdirectory. Let's do the API. All right. So we're in the API. So this is what it looks like, guys. All right, let me make sure that you guys can see this. Samuel with Code, how's it going? Thank you, J35. Yeah, if you guys haven't already joined the Discord, make sure you do so. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let me just kind of... Here, let me minimize myself a little bit here. I'm going to put myself like up in the corner here. Okay, so welcome to Workspace Hong Kong. Okay. So, asked to make changes, mention files. So is this a Claude? Is this Claude, just literally just Claude Code here? So new workspace, Bangalore. Okay, so these are just multiple Claude codes, right? So this is from origin main, branched Hong Kong. Oh shoot. So are these creating little branches in my project? Let's see. Here, let's pull up GitHub. So every time I click launch new workspace, I'm wondering is it actually creating a new GitHub branch? Let's see. Yeah, everything's going good today, Insom Gamers. Right now we are trying out Conductor IDE. We're going to be trying out some tools today on ViewCreator, working on ViewCreator while trying out some new tools. So let's see here, the ViewCreator API. So did that create new branches? And it looks like it did. So every time, or wait, no. Oh wait, no, view more branches. View updates, okay. Okay, so it didn't. Maybe, Okay, so it's just an isolated copy of the workspace. It's created Conductor Hong Kong and copied 324 files. So maybe it's local. So maybe it's literally local. So let's try going to ViewCreator API here. So Conductor, so Hong Kong, and then that has the entire, okay. All right, so that's how it works. So it creates a Conductor directory, and then in that Conductor directory, that's where the workspace goes. So it literally copies your entire code base and will put it there. Okay, interesting. All right, so then here, so link issue, search by name. Okay, so you can literally link linear. So you can connect linear here. I don't have linear set up correctly yet, so Sonnet, Opus 4.5, say review the API incomplete. Depth, what are your thoughts on how we are handling error handling and throwing secure? All right, this song's fire, by the way. Throwing secure, user-friendly errors. All right, so review the API in depth. Okay, allow, would you like to, yes, sure. All right, so we're just gonna review the system there. So then I can go over to another workspace. So this is kind of like a product that's built around the concept of being able to launch multiple agents in parallel. So I'm in Hong Kong, you know, I don't know how I feel about it. What do you guys think? The one thing is that it is a little bit safer, right? Because since you're in this workspace, you know, you're able to, you know, isolate things a little bit more. So if you were working on a code base that was sensitive, Insom Gamers, yeah, we are working on Conductor IDE right now. So this is a product totally free for me to download and actually use, which is interesting. I wonder how they're making money. All right, so here's the founder on X. Yeah, 100%. So Hung was the one that recommended this. So this was launched on July 17th. Here's the founder. So it got 505,000 views. His X post on that. Wait. Yeah. So July 17th he launched this. Yeah, that's exactly Zuhaib. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'd rather kind of to Hung's point. So this is Conductor, and essentially the big premise is that you're just able to, every time you click new workspace in the, look at, it says, so branched Albany from origin main, and essentially how it works is it creates a new folder in Conductor where it's like a new workspace. So now in Conductor, you know, Albany is here, and that's just a copy of my code base. Seems messy. I personally would not use this. So you get an isolated copy of your workspace. Yeah, it's an IDE. So we'll let it run to see how it does. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, but I'm not like super impressed. Probably not something I'm really gonna use that much. Also, it's really slow. J35 said, I would love for you to rate these tools as good vibes or bad vibes. Bad vibes on this one. Let me know if you guys want to move on. This seems like junk. Yeah. Yeah. All right, not a fan. I'm going to move on to the next tool. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, let's move to the next one. So I just deleted all that. Okay, so next tool. Let's go back to the Trello board. All right. So that's now done. So GitHub Spec Kit. So this was recommended by J35. So GitHub Spec Kit. This is actually a little bit of learning curve on this, but GitHub Spec Kit, if you're not familiar, this is essentially a form of AI-driven development. And let's just kind of go down here and actually do some reading. So what is, let's see here. So what is spec-driven development? Spec-driven development flips the scripts on traditional software development. For decades, code has been king. Specifications were just scaffolding we built and discarded once the real work of coding began. Spec-driven development changes this. Specifications become executable, directly working implementations rather than just guiding them. Okay, so to get started, you install the specify CLI. Install once and use everywhere. So let's just copy this and go over to a terminal. Not found. Oh. Hold up. Okay. Okay, so I just downloaded this. And, alright, then use the tool directly. Alright, what tool? So specify init, specify check. What if I already have it set up? Alright, let's just read a little bit more. Alright, benefits of persistent installation. Tool stays installed and available in path. No need to create shell aliases. Better tool management with UA tool list, UAV tool. What is a tool? What is this concept of tools? Seems like there's a learning curve on SpecKit for sure. Alright, use the speckit.constitution command to create your project's governing principles and development guidelines that will guide all subsequent development. Use the speckit specify command to describe what you want to build. Focus on the what and why, not the tech stack. Alright, hold up. Launch your AI assistant in the project directory. Yeah, you can run Codex in multiple instances in parallel. Alright, so launch your AI assistant in the project directory. The SpecKit commands are available in the assistant. Okay, so in the project directory, you can essentially run this. SpecKit constitutions. Let's run this. Hold up. I guess we need to initialize it first, right? Oh, shoot. Oh, guys, okay, so check this. Running SpecKit. So you do specify init ViewCreator, right? Okay, wait, hold up. Can I cancel out of this? Because I want to name it something different. Selection canceled. Alright, hold on. I want to cancel that. I think it canceled it. Alright, cool. Alright, so instead, let's do specify init SpecKit. Alright, so you can choose your AI assistant. So GitHub, Copilot, Claude Code, Gemini CLI, Cursor, Quen, Open Code, Codex. So let's use Codex, Codex CLI. And then, which one should we select here? Yeah, I'm on a Mac, so I'll do that. Yeah, I'm exploring new tools right now. In some gamers said SpecKit is really useful, but for agentic flows. Yeah, Conductor was bad, Tony. Yeah. P-Visual, what's up? Yeah, I've got Claude Max. Yeah, J35, thank you. Yeah, shout out J35. All right, so go to the project folder, CD Spec Kit. All right, so it says set Codex home environment variable before running Codex. All right, so it literally just wants me to run this command here. All right, start using slash commands with your AI agent. So establish project principles. Create a baseline specifications, create implementation plan. Okay. So you integrate, so just for everybody joining, we're working on Spec Kit right now and kind of learning, hey, is this a workflow that we want to, learn and potentially integrate? And we just got it set up. It wasn't very hard, but now it looks like there's these slash commands. So there's Spec Kit Constitution. So this is where you establish project principles. Spec Kit Specify creates baseline specification. Spec Kit Plan creates an implementation plan. Spec Kit Task generates an actionable task, and then implement actual executes it. This is Spec Kit. So this is definitely very interesting. I actually can expand this now that my face is in the up top right corner here. Actually, I totally forgot it was up there. Yes, Conductor was really bad. What's missing is that, I mean, essentially, like, there's no use for it, in my opinion, because the use case is that you can run agents that are essentially, you abstract your workspace into sub workspaces that then, agents are able to work in that workspace. There's no need for that. Like, if you're on a branch and you have Codex, you can run, 5 Codex agents at once and have them all working on stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I get the idea. A lot of people say that, it's not good for agents to work at the same time in parallel, but in reality, I don't have that problem. I can run that just fine. But Spec Kit is essentially a AI-driven development workflow, and we're kind of learning as we go. So P-Visual, you can kind of watch. Yeah, it's an agent kit from GPT. So Spec Kit construction. So if I just run this and I say establish, let's just try exactly what it's giving us, right? So establish project principles. Is it going to be able to, actually do that? Hold on. So why is that not working? So use slash spec kit. So then it says no such. That's interesting. Do I need to do this? All right, let's ask ChatGPT, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Lion, I'm losing money. Sennheiser, how's it going? Yeah, I'm losing about $1,000 a month right now. Okay, you have to run UV run Codex first. Okay, so you actually run Codex, it looks like. So you UV run Codex. Let's try that. Whoa. All right. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna authenticate real quick. All right, so sign into Codex as guest. All right, so I just linked it. All right, so now let's pull back Spec Kit again. Okay. Okay, so now if I run Spec Kit, okay, so now we have these commands, okay. Lion, don't make stuff up in chat. Sam Stone said you're not in Spec Kit, you're running a terminal command and it things you're referencing the root folder. No, so we are in Spec Kit right now. So basically like it creates this, I mean, let's just go to our project and actually like kind of break this down, right? So Spec Kit here, you have this specify and then you have Codex. So you have Codex and then you have specify, you have memory, scripts, and templates. So these must be the templates. Like if you go to task here. Okay, so this is like the prompt. Okay. So let's just try this out. So what was the first one that gave us? It was a Spec Kit. It was Constitution here. So if I do this, whoa. I'm not spending on 3K on AWS Infra. Maybe Lion was confused. That's how much we were spending at Bright Choice. All right. Yeah, so J35 said, now we can plan features and it will create specifications and tasks to implement that feature, I think. Potentially. So I just did this constitutions, right? And the question is, you know, I didn't even do anything. Like, it just kind of, like, did it. So when I do, yeah, so I think it's generating the constitution right now. So I do /spec kit. So you have essentially, like, so it lists memory. So there's all these, like, MD files that it's reading inside of Spec Kit. Sam, I'm not sure. I have to, I don't know. Okay. So evaluating message channels. So what is this even supposed to do, right? It's like, here, let's open up the this again. So the Constitution to create your project's governing principles and development guidelines that will guide all subsequent development. P-Visual says, does your using agents use tokens faster than cursor agent? P-Visual, what do you mean? Because this is just Codex, so this is just using my ChatGPT Pro plan, which is, you pretty much have unlimited usage when you have ChatGPT Pro or Codex. So reading relevant prompt file. So I'm interested to see, you know, even like, for example, let's like grab one of these terminals. Like, let's just grab this terminal, right? And let's like see, do I have like, let's launch Codex here, right? Let's just launch Codex and see, does Spec Kit, so, okay, that's interesting. So unless you're actually in the Spec Kit folder, you know, you don't have access to that. But if I CD into Spec Kit, so if I CD into Spec Kit here, inside of that directory, and then I launch Codex, yes, allow, can I then run Spec Kit? Okay, so you literally have to like have it running. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Yeah, Codex is so slow. But Codex will get stuff right, though. So is this going to create the governing principles, I guess. We'll see. Let's still do this work, and let's also work on ViewCreator a little bit. Let's grab this one. Yeah, Zuhaib, I've got Max Plan on Claude Code right here. All right. Whoa. Okay, so here it comes in. Yeah, Rob. So it just built a huge constitution file. Interesting. Yeah, Zoaib, I agree. I've been using Claude Code more, especially after I figured out Ultra Think. Now that Ultra Think works really well. Chief said that he hit his weekly limit. Switched over to Claude. Yeah, I mean, I've never hit limits on the ChatGPT Pro plan. And I do hit limits for Claude on the Claude plan, and I have the Max plan for Claude. Tony, they are lying to you. Alright. So, now it said it replaced the specify memory constitution MD file with SpecKit constitution v1.0.0, defining 5 enforceable principles, detailed gates, workflow expectations, and governance with embedded sync impact report. Yeah, probably, Sam. Yeah. Helio said, hey, I'm in coding since a few days, and it's actually working good. Vibe coding, yeah, nice. Yeah, vibe coding is pretty good. Okay, so, I mean, what's technically the next step, right? Is it to give it an actual specifier, right? So now I would specify something. Whoa. So I don't understand. No, okay, no feature provided. Okay, good. Okay, so now I just do SpecKit dot specify, and then let's say review the API and diagnose. I don't know. Let's do review the. Updating the CSS. All right, so this is just a basic one, right? And kind of what I'm interested in figuring out is, you know, wait, no feature description provided. But I did give it a, wait, what am I doing wrong? Wait, hold up. All right, this has got a serious learning curve on it, guys. Use the spec kit specify command to describe what you want to build. Focus on what and why, not the tech stack. I'm going to make a video on this. I think we should stop. We should move on for now. But I'm going to make a video on this and really learn about it. And I'm going to terminate this for now. But spec kit, interesting, but definitely a learning curve on it. So I'm going to make a video on that for those of you interested. Definitely a different type of vibe coding. Much more structured. So I'm interested to see, you know, because that could really, really help. You know, I'm interested to try that out and learn more about it. But let's move on. Okay, so we do have a couple more in our list here. But I also, let's take a pause real quick. And before we continue on our list, I actually want to get some stuff, some tasks knocked out, guys. So let's do that. All right, so the campaigns are super important. All right, BridgeMind, enrollment cap 10. So let's add like a couple tiers. So 10,000 views. Let's say you get $15. And then let's say that at 100,000 views, I'll pay $200. And then at 1 million views, I'll pay $2,000. Start recruiting. That gets created. Now, if I go to this, I'm able to update all of that. Okay. So that's now recruiting. So then if I go over to the influencer dashboard and I go to campaigns, right? There's going to be a new campaign, the one that we just did. Top reward, $2,000 for 10 million views. I guess I did an extra 0. So I can apply. So here's the reward structure. So this actually is pretty cool with the reward tables. So this is what it looks like for end users. So they're able to see, okay, so new campaign from BridgeMind, like what's about the brand, like what are they all about? Let me go to the company, see what they do, their brand voice, their audience, their brand tags, and then you can see, okay, what's the reward structure, threshold, 1,000 views, $1, 10,000, 15, 100,000, 200, and then I can click apply now. Once I apply, I can then start working, and I can submit proof here. So the biggest thing that we actually need is we need to come up with a way to pay end users, right? And this is actually something that we were kind of looking into, you know, last stream, and we actually do have a README file on it. Let's just find it real quick. I think it's at Stripe. Wait, hold on. It should just be in the docs here. Let's find it. All right, payment system. So this document outlines the implementation of a creator payment system for ViewCreator using Stripe Connect Express. The system handles 2 distinct campaign types, UGC campaigns, reward campaigns. All right, so now we actually need to update this. So let's actually, I'm gonna launch a fresh Claude session. And I'm just gonna use normal thinking. And I'm going to do at payment system and at campaign refactor. Update the payment system with the updates from the campaign refactoring plan, as there no longer is UGC campaigns, but only reward campaigns. Can't wait to prove everybody wrong, guys. This community is going to really back this project. Because instead of spending money on, you know, paid ads, put that money towards the UGC campaigns. We have a community built around the project, and we'll be able to create the UGC campaigns, and it's going to be really interesting to see how November 11th goes. All right. So let's that update. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I got plenty of snacks already, Maxiologies. What's up? All right, let's ask chat a couple questions. So I do want to drop this in here in a second. Will users from different countries outside the US be able to use this? For example, is there going to be a currency issue? I mean, instead of doing Stripe Connect, it's like, I mean, what are your thoughts, chat, on just starting with like a crypto setup? For Droid, do you prefer GPT-5 Codex or Claude 4.5 Sonnet? I prefer GPT-5 Codex. I mean, we could make it where, hey, we don't necessarily need to launch with a super robust Stripe system. We could just make it so that, you know, users drop in like a wallet or something. Yeah, and you need GDRPs, yeah. What do you guys think? Google launched an AI marketing agent called Pomeli. All right, a new AI marketing tool from Google Labs and DeepMind built to help small and mid-sized businesses create professional on-brand campaigns. That's cool. Can we try this out? Oh, shoot. All right, shout out to J35. So this just came out. Okay. Let's try it out with ViewCreator. All right, this is really cool. Okay, so 5 minutes left. It's going to go to the website and be able to get all this. Oh, yeah, Lion. Lion's the true expert on this, guys. He's in BridgeMind live chat spewing hate. Definitely an expert. Zane said you need some guarantees to say that the platform will pay the user. In that situation, having Stripe payments set up on platform would be nice, but crypto offsite payments to start seems easier. Thank you, Zane. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, hey, especially since the brands are going to be with, you know, related to BridgeMind, you know, to start, it would be pretty easy and simple to be able to just do, you know, crypto or offsite payments to start. Gianna said, after a long workday, I'm here right now, or maybe since half an hour. Nice stream to be productive in thinking and doing. Yeah, Gianna, thank you. Johnny. All right, so this is really cool. Okay, so let's let that load, and we'll come back later. What are your thoughts on, instead of doing Stripe Connect, just paying users through crypto? Crypto. I mean, when you do think about it, like, one of the reasons that I think crypto is going to be, like, so powerful is because, you know, after working with some of you guys that I've paid, you know, some of the people from the BridgeMind community are from all over the world, right? And it's very, very easy to just do, you know, crypto. It's like a universal currency, you know? So I'd be surprised if crypto doesn't get, like, full mainstream adoption. Rob, I'm gonna work out after the stream today. Haven't worked out yet today. Okay. So potential advantages of crypto payouts. So low friction for global payouts. Crypto, especially stablecoins, can simplify cross-border payments because you can avoid many of the traditional banking rails, currency conversions, and regional payout latency. For example, global payouts via USDC are being supported by Stripe via stablecoin payments for Connect platforms. Faster settlements, broader reach. Oh wow, Stripe actually has stablecoin payouts. That's very interesting. Thanks, Sennheiser. Yeah, Sennheiser, I'm dead. Thank you, Gianni. Yeah, very true. Yeah, Lion has been spewing hate across the channel for a while now. It's normal. It's all good. Love to have the hater in the chat, guys. Don't ban him or anything. Let him spew. It's kind of entertaining. Sennheiser said once you receive the crypto, you convert it into a stable coin. That way you don't depend on the market. Yeah. If you pay in a non-stable crypto, value can swing, which is bad if you promise fixed USD rewards. Even stable coins have risk. I mean, how cool would that be to have a crypto, like a crypto UGC platform? That would be badass. Kat said, hey man, I feel I've been hard on you over the time. I've watched your stream. You have a lot of determination, and I respect that. Thank you, Katz. I might join the Discord later. I've done a lot of consulting over the years, so I could offer some help when I have a chance. Yeah, much appreciated. Any constructive help that I can get is very appreciated. You know, anything like that. I think the word there is like constructive, right? Like I think that there's just people that are low IQ, like Lion in the chat, that you know, spew hate, and that's like, you know, just what they like to do. But if you can give me constructive criticism, I would, you know, really enjoy that. So thank you, Katz. If you want to join the Discord and you know, send me a DM, I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Pameli. Yeah. All right, so Pameli. Okay. So it says it's taking longer than expected. Let's leave that right over here. So Pameli. Also, shout out to J35. Basically, this was just released. So this is a new beta AI assistant where it's a marketing assistant from Google. So really interesting. Maxiology said offer both. Yeah. Well, to get started, though, this may be a really good option. All right. All right, hybrid approach. Keep fiat payments via Stripe Connect as the default and offer crypto as an optional payout methods for creator who opt in. So essentially what I'm thinking about is I want to start with crypto because it would be easier to get started. For example, I wouldn't have to have all these Stripe integrations or whatnot. It's all good, J35. Thank you. That's up to you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Also, Jesse's going to get a promotion to moderator because he's been doing a really good job. He's been showing up, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Jesse. I know that you've been promoted on Discord as well, so I just made you a YouTube mod. Thank you. Naya Playhouse said, what kind of database are you using to host this website? Is it Supabase? No, it's actually RDS. For the next project that I'm working on, I'm probably going to use Supabase, though. I think it's a better approach now with the MCP. So essentially what I'm thinking about is I want to start with crypto because it would be easier to get started. For example, I wouldn't have to have all these Stripe integrations and whatnot. All right, what are your thoughts on this? Okay, so it says, starting with crypto payouts can be dramatically simpler at the beginning, especially if you just want to move money from you to creators quickly and globally without building or verifying a full KYC Stripe Connect system yet. So less friction for MVP. So Stripe Connect requires KYC for every creator, account linking flows, compliance disclosures, webhook setup, test mode and live mode switching, and constant compliance maintenance. So with crypto, it just lets you collect wallet addresses from users and then run a payout script using USDC or another stablecoin. Track those transactions manually or via an explorer. All right, chat, let me know who thinks that this is a good idea. So Nizer, it would be easier to start with crypto. Like, so if we go up here, it actually did a really good job of explaining it. So with Stripe Connect, so I have built a Stripe Connect system before. I could probably build it in a couple days, but it is complex. So with crypto, you know, I think like, for example, we could immediately, you know, be able to, you know, start that, just connect to wallet addresses. Maxology said, I've integrated Stripe in multiple apps. It's simple with AI. Have you done Connect, Stripe Connect? Rob says that I guess just convert your stablecoin to currency when you get payout, because if economy has pressure, they may not be able to keep the coin pegged to that value. Look what happened to FTX coin. Yeah, stablecoin seems like a good idea. Okay, so yeah, so let me know what your guys' thoughts, because I think just to get started, we could make it so that, like, for example, like, especially because of the asset that we have in the Discord, you know, let me go over here. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, big shout out to Dom, Abby Knight. Shout out Abby Knight. Shout out to Seven, Zane, Dad Droid. Thank you guys for joining. David, Kumar, welcome to the community. Drop the report on Discord DM. Hold on, I'm gonna check that off stream. Jesse, thank you. Appreciate it. I'll look at that off stream. Thank you so much. Alright, so this is still working. Looks like it literally had to retry. Alright, so I'm actually gonna just ping the Discord real quick. Aperion, what's up, man? So right now we're talking about how we will pay users. So I'm just going to ping the Discord. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, I'm going to just generate an invite link here. Drop this in. If you haven't already just joined the Discord, make sure you do so. So let's ping here. So I'm going to say, quick question. For the ViewCreator UGC system, would you all be interested in starting off receiving crypto for the MVP? I'm going to add everyone. Chat, let me know. We'll see what we get here back. Sennheiser said cryptocurrency is still a niche market, even though it represents billions. I can't really see ordinary people using cryptocurrency as a payment system, or would you have to include a cryptocurrency payment system with credit cards? The user pays in dollars, which are converted directly into cryptocurrency. I don't know if that's possible. Well, just to get started, like the brands that are going to be, you know, on ViewCreator are going to be BridgeMind brands. So, you know, the thought behind this is we could easily integrate the system for the campaign. Like, it would be immediately done, right? It would be like, okay, this is now done. Because all they would need to provide is their wallet address, right? Miles, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream, by the way. He said, question, do you think it's worth paying for Ultra Plan for Cursor, Claude Code Max, and Codex Pro, or not needed? I have all three of them, Miles. Miles asked if you could pick a stack around $300 to $400, what would you do? Okay, so for $300 to $400, I mean, I really do like Cursor. You don't get as much use. So, you know, I would say I personally really like Cursor, right? So I have the Cursor Ultra plan. You have to be careful with how much you use max, because you'll hit that very easily. But then, like, I mean, I feel like with $400, that's actually the right amount to have, because you'll pretty much have unlimited use. I mean, with like Cursor Max, with Cursor Ultra, and with Codex Pro or ChatGPT Pro or Claude Max, you know, you'll pretty much, unless you're like using like Opus on Claude, you're not going to hit limits on that. All right, Linux just did a vote, crypto for the MVP, yes or no, in the Discord. Falcon asked, how do you run Codex instances without collision? So you just have to make sure that you give them different tasks. Yeah, just give it different tasks. Thanks, Linux. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Bobster Tech said, we have a community of young men. We all know how to use crypto. If you need to switch to cash-based payments, that means you're growing, which is a good problem. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, the way that I see it, right, is that to start, ViewCreator is going to be supported by this community, right? Yeah, true, Mike. Yeah. Yeah, Sennheiser, thank you. So, I mean, all we would have to do to integrate that system is just have, I mean, we could literally just add, add your wallet address. And I could just, pay people manually to start, just to get started. For the ViewCreator MVP, do you think it would be bad if I just wanted to get started by using crypto so that I could easily get the MVP off the ground and just have a way to pay people where, essentially instead of building this complex Stripe system where people would just get paid via crypto? Like, would I run into a bunch of, like, legal issues, or, like, what do you think about that? Most of the people are going to be people from the BridgeMind community anyway, so... Is ChatGPT Plus any better? Jesse, what do you mean? All right, so it said, no, it's not bad at all to start ViewCreator's MVP with crypto payouts. In fact, for an early stage community-driven product like yours, BirdMind's, okay, it's actually smart for 3 reasons. It reduces integration complexity. You can skip connect, bank routing, KYC, taxes handling, etc. for now. It lets you reward people instantly and globally. Everyone in your Discord or your creator base can get paid right away. It proves your system works before you invest months building out regulatory infrastructure that may or not be necessary yet. So from a founder execution standpoint, this move is 100% rational, okay, and common. Okay. Okay, so if you do this smartly, you won't trigger any major regulatory issues. Okay. Falcon said, so basically you have a plan with ChatGPT to not create collision, to run parallel, or is there easier way? No, like what I mean, Falcon, is like, let's say that you have a task, right? And that task works in one part of the code base. Like, let's say you have a task working that's spinning up here, right? Just make sure that when you launch other agents that they're not going to go into this area. Make them work over here, right? And then you won't have any issues at all because they're updating different files. So Helios just asked essentially what ViewCreator is. So ViewCreator is an all-in-one platform to be able to create viral content. So in this platform, you have access to certain tools. So as a content creator or a brand that's creating content, you have access to platform tools on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and X. So you have a YouTube thumbnail generator, title generator, description generator, chapter generator, transcript generator. On X, you have a viral post generator, a reply generator, and then also you have the ability to create AI agents. So with AI agents, you're able to essentially create complex workflows where your content can create itself just by being able to create these workflows once and then to run them and to just continuously create content. Also, ViewSpark, which is your marketing assistant, just essentially a ChatGPT for marketing. The Playground, you're able to create images and videos using AI. And then also we're going to be hooking up a content calendar that's coming soon. Also, Brand Profiles kind of weaves all of this together to allow you to essentially create a brand profile so that all of these agents are able to, be together and know what brand it's actually working with. So, hope that helps explain that. Also, if you're new to the channel, we're about to hit 5,800 subscribers. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. And there is a Discord link in chat if you guys want to join our community of vibe coders, builders, and people that are just trying to make the most out of their life. Make sure that you join the Discord in chat. Jesse Pinkman said the Plus subscription, how is it different in performance between Plus and Pro? So it's not difference in performance, and it's different in usage. So, for example, I hit the Plus usage in one day. I never hit Pro usage. I never hit usage limits. Okay, so literally all I would have to do is add a wallet address. So like, for example, for people that are, creating these UGC campaigns, they could go here, right? They could go to, let's just go over to the creator dashboard. So when you actually submit, right? So let's say you're in this campaign, right? And you need to submit proof. Here, when you're submitting essentially your campaign ticket, you just add in your wallet. Thanks, Naya. I think Stripe is probably the best option for payment, like long term, right? But for example, just to get started, and to get the proof of concept off the ground. You know, I think a lot of the creators that are going to be building are in actually being a part of these UGC campaigns are going to be people from the community, and a lot of them use crypto. So I think we're going to have to use crypto. All right, so let's just add this, honestly. All right. All right, so let's do Ultra Think. I have decided that I will pay users with crypto using USDC, a stablecoin. This is for our MVP because I do not yet want to create a super complex Stripe Connect system. I want to get started with crypto. So payment system, review the README and think in depth about how we will add this logic in. So for essentially, when users actually go to submit proof or submit, you know, a campaign submission, I want it to be set up so that they enter their wallet address. Think in depth about this and how this needs to work, and then help me update the payment system README to integrate this MVP portion where we are going to be started with crypto first. So Brother Code, so I think that, like, you know, to get started, the people that are going to be using the platform are going to be people from the BridgeMind community. Like, this is a community-driven project, right? And a lot of people in the Discord have already volunteered that they will be the ones that they're volunteering to be the first people to take part in these UGC campaigns. So essentially what that means is that to get started, the best thing to do for our MVP is to just pay with crypto, because that's the simplest. All we have to do is add in a wallet address, and then we can worry about the Stripe Connect system later on. So, you know, I definitely think that this is okay. We just asked ChatGPT what the legal implications of it are, and it said, hey, as long as you know, let people know this is how you do it, you know, it's okay. So, all right, let's do it. Also, it doesn't look like this is working. This Pomeli. Maybe we can try it with BridgeMind. I mean, Brother Codes, all you need is you need to collect wallet addresses. All right, guys, so I'm going to keep working on this. I only was going to stream for 2 hours today because I have to jump on another call. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to work on this, obviously, off stream. But everybody, thanks for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day. And